In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I ceramic coat tires and wheels and the processes I go through in order to get them ready for that final step. That gives them a huge advantage in both durability and maintenance. Ceramic coatings are like a glass coating that bonds to the surface of whatever you're putting them on, and they last for a very long time depending on how well you take care of them. With this, I'm hoping to be able to get 2 years out of this coating. As you can see here, the beginning phases of cleaning are pretty simple. You start off with just power washing the major grime off the tires themselves and wheels, and then you'll follow up with a pretty all-purpose wheel and tire cleaner. Usually something pretty specific. I use Meguiar's. I found it works really well with the tires I work on, especially the road grime we have around here. And usually what I do is a two-step process. An iron remover that gets rid of brake dust and grime afterwards, because usually what happens is you have a layer of grime over top of the brake dust itself. The best way to get the chemicals to that is to get the grime off that's covering them up, so the chemicals can go straight to them. And usually what I do as well is I will repeat these processes until I'm satisfied with the results. And depending on what surface you use, you have to choose between a brush that will work for them best. For these wheels, I'm using a very soft brush because they have been coated, and to use a stiffer bristle brush, you would just scratch them up, and then you're going to have to spend a lot more time in the buffing phase later on to really bring out the shine and give them a uniform look. But you can still see here that there is some brake dust in the drum for the wheel. And to get that off, I will be using the iron remover. And since we're in the drum itself, a stiff bristle brush is good because it is grooved, so it's not a smooth surface like some drums are. And the best way to get stuff out of those little nooks and crannies is with a stiffer bristle brush. The very back, you're not going to have to worry about that because it'll never be seen, and there's no way to really clean it without taking the wheels off. So the best thing to do is just get it pretty clean, and you'll be focusing mainly on the drum itself. Now, I won't be ceramicing the back end of these tires just because they are going to be going on an off-roading vehicle, and there's nothing much you can do about it. But now, the main purpose of a ceramic coating on your wheels and tires is to prevent the most amount of buildup as you can from mud and brake dust and any road contamination that you can encounter on the road. And ceramics offer the best protection, in my opinion, for these kind of issues. And they also offer the best durability in the long run. And I highly recommend them if you're looking into protecting your wheels and tires. Here I am just buffing out all the small little imperfections. It's not a very aggressive buff. It's mainly just to bring color out, get a little bit of that like dead paint on it off to give it a much smoother look in the long run. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can go for perfect if you want to, but in my case, I'm going to be rough on them. I don't mind. I just want to make sure they're protected and they have the best bonding surface possible. And to do that, after you get done buffing, you will follow up with an isopropyl wipe down. This will get rid of all the oils left over by the compound that you use to buff the wheels. Because if you leave the oils on this surface, then you can't get a good adherence with the ceramic coating, which I'm going to be putting on right here. I like to use Carpo's coatings. I find that their application is really easy and smooth, and in the long run, I've had lasting results on their performance. So it's a brand I recommend. As you can see here, it really brightens up the look of the tires and wheels. The tires really soaked it up, and one thing I really like about it on tires is it gives it a nice dull shine. I'm not a huge fan of the really bright tires. I like it kind of a moderate dull shine. But just, you can tell it's well taken care of, and it doesn't stand out too much, because sometimes it can pull your eyes away from the other parts of the vehicle itself, and it can be overly done. And as you can see here in the wheel drum itself, it has makes a huge difference in the overall gloss of it, and it really brings some life back into them. And to follow up, you have to use a non-linting microfiber rag to get to buff the ceramic. Because if you don't use a non-linting, you'll have a mess everywhere, because it starts to get a little tacky.